WCBI News at 6 starts now.
We begin tonight with breaking news out of Monroe County, where Sheriff Cecil Cantrell has resigned.
His resignation comes just 2 weeks after he was defeated in the primary election. Scott Martin joins us live from Monroe County with the latest. Scott.
Monroe County District 1 Supervisor Joseph Richardson confirms to us that Sheriff Cecil Cantrell has in fact resigned effective immediately. Now, he also told us that Chief Deputy Curtis Knight will resume the role as sheriff until Friday. That's when Board of Supervisors expect to meet up. Now, I want you to look at this video here of that empty sheriff's office here at the Monroe County Sheriff's Department. This all comes about after Sheriff Cecil Cantrell lost the Democratic primary in the primary election earlier this month. Cantrell took in just over 3,500 votes. Kevin Crook took in nearly 4,500 votes in that election. Again, Board of Supervisors plan to appoint an interim by Friday. Now, we've mapped out a couple of different scenarios that could happen. Knight could hold sheriff until the end of Sheriff Cantrell's term, or they could appoint a new sheriff. We'll see how everything turns out. For now, reporting live in Monroe County, Scott Martin, WCBI News.
Columbus Mayor Robert Smith is giving an update tonight on his cost savings plan. Earlier this year, Councilman passed his blueprint to have the city in the red by $300,000 by September.
Our Cash Matlock is at tonight's City Council meeting to hear the latest. He joins us now with those details. Cash?
Well, Mayor Robert Smith's initial cost savings plan that he delivered.
All right, we appear to be having some technical difficulties with that live feed. We'll try to get back to Cash later.
Yeah, and we'll definitely have an update on that story tonight. In other news, some Columbus voters are going to the polls today for a special election. 6 candidates are vying for the Ward 4 seat. Turnout has been reported as light so far. If a runoff is needed, it will be held on September 10th. Polling locations are at Stevens Chapel, Brooks Park, and Community Hut and Fire Station 1. Now, those polls will remain open for about another hour.
Well, elections are bringing in a lot of new faces to county offices. In Noxubee County, history was made. The first African-American county prosecutor will take office next year.
It's the first change in that office in 3 decades. Our Stephanie Poole joins us live in the studio with more. Stephanie?
Yes, getting a new face in office can be intimidating. However, Rod Hickman says he has plans that can benefit everyone. In a couple of months, Rod Hickman will be the new Noxubee County prosecutor. Hickman, a Sugar Lock native, will be the first African-American to take position in that office in over 30 years. Hickman says he always wanted to come home and work within the criminal justice system.
This is the place, or this is the position that I felt like I could make the most progress and be most useful to my community.
In the primary elections, Hickman defeated Ricky Walker, getting over 62% of the votes.
I was kind of overwhelmed because I expected to have good numbers, but I didn't expect the numbers to be as good as they were. But overall, that says to me that one, my community believes in me. A prosecutor is probably one of the most vital systems in the criminal justice system.
Through the years, Hickman prepared himself for the position by attending the University of Mississippi Law School. He graduated in the top 10 of his class. While in office, Hickman wants to implement a mentorship program for those with criminal charges.
It allows them an opportunity to be impacted, and it allows us to figure out the core of what caused them to commit this crime rather than see this person as an outright criminal. If I can cut you off at your very beginning, at your first mistakes, then we can keep you from becoming lifelong criminals. And in the end, that makes Noxubee County safer.
Even though he has big shoes to fill, he welcomes the challenge.
I owe the county this service. I owe them a service, and I owe them to be the absolute best that I can be every day. I'm also the transition or the change between a generation in this county, and I want to do well at that, but I also definitely want to reach our youth at any cost, because that is, paying it forward is what it's all about.
Hickman says in years to come, he'd like to run for senator, but for now, he wants to focus on bringing new ideas and practices to the county.
And so I take that role very seriously in trying to create a prototype here. Knoxville County has the option to be kind of a prototype for what other counties should be doing as far as their county attorney is concerned within the way of criminal justice.
Hickman will be sworn in office in January.
No jail time for the owners of a Columbus adult novelty store who admitted they sold altered drugs and supplements. Dean and Louisa Priest both plead to a federal charge of misbranding a drug in interstate commerce. They sold supplements containing the drug sildenafil, the active ingredient in the prescription drug Viagra, to a buyer in Oregon. The pair each received a 1-year probation term and a $1,000 fine. In June of 2017, agents from the FDA raided a warehouse connected to the Sensation store on Highway 373. They seized thousands of supplements billed to improve sexual performance. Court records show the priests sold the altered drugs up until the June 2017 raid.
2 missing teens from Lee County are found in St. Louis. 14-year-old Haley Patterson and 15-year-old Mason McGillivray were located today. The geo-tracker they were driving in was also found by law enforcement in Missouri. Lee County deputies first released they were missing on August 14th. The teens were last seen in the Moorville and Pontotoc area before traveling north. No word on when they will be returned to Mississippi.
A one-vehicle accident claims the life of a Vernon man. 48-year-old James Robert Allen was killed when his Ford Ranger truck left the road and crashed into trees. The wreck happened about 5:40 Monday evening on Beaver Creek Road in Lamar County, about 6 miles southeast of Sullivan. Allen died at the scene. Alabama State Troopers continue to investigate. Time now to get a first look at our forecast with meteorologist Trevor Burchett.
Andrea, plenty of blue sky out there this afternoon, and that has allowed our temperatures to really warm up. Check it out, 91 right now in Columbus. Heat index is 100, so it is definitely feeling muggy as you step out the door. It's one of those hot and humid August afternoons. Good news is, check this out, temperatures are going to be on the downward slope, but that is all thanks to some increased rain chances that are on the way. I'll have those full details coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, thanks, Trevor. Well, earlier we told you about Columbus Mayor Robert Smith's update to his plan to save the city money. Now we have that live shot in Columbus, and Cash Matlock joins us.
Well, Mayor Robert Smith's cost-saving plan that he initially presented to the City Council on March 5th featured things like a hiring freeze for city employees, switching to generic drugs for employee health care, and opening the municipal court on Fridays. Now, so far since March 5th, the mayor is reporting that 29 city employees vacated their position, which is going to save the city over $300,000. Or has saved the city over $300,000 so far. Now, switching those employees to a higher health insurance deductible saved the city $12,000 or over $12,000. Now, switching those city employees to generic drugs, that has also saved about $22,000 for the city. Now, the mayor estimates that we're going to save $1.54 million in the next 12 months with this new plan. Reporting in Columbus, Cash Matlock, WCBI News.
All right, Cash, thanks for that update. Well, new jobs are coming to Monroe County. Avid Boats is docking in Amory and floating career opportunities in the area.
Our Riley Livingston takes a look at the potential impact of the new business. She joins us live in the studio with more. Riley.
The project represents a $1.6 million investment, and as they say, a rising tide lifts all boats. A new business and new jobs are coming to Amory. Local startup Avid Boats will be building aluminum bay and bass boats. And the homegrown company is being built on homegrown talent.
We're hoping to bring in 75 jobs in the next couple of years. Right now we have 17 employees. And we're on track for roughly 40 employees by Christmas of this year.
Philip Faulkner says while they looked at a few different locations, in the end, there was no place like home.
Amory, it's home to us. We looked around other areas. We checked around the corner and to see what kind of was our best fit. Ultimately, we had an opportunity here to invest in this facility and it was a no-brainer.
Chelsea Balch says things have been full speed ahead since the project was first brought to her.
It's been a very fast project. They reached out back in December of last year and they were starting this process, so very, very aggressive. They have this first boat, planning to make other boats to get them to market and trade shows and things to get them sold.
The Mississippi Development Authority and Itawamba Community College are teaming up to handle workforce training. Faulkner thinks that will have a positive impact on business and the area.
Absolutely, it's going to help us, particularly from a metal fabrication side of the business. That's such an important part of this process here. And having that workforce training development certainly helps us from a confidence level, knowing that, one, we're bringing in the people that we need to do the job here and do a good job here for us, but also giving the employees the tools that they need to be able to get the job.
Faulkner says this is only the beginning. He is already working on plans for growth.
From here, we're going to expand into other models. I said earlier, 18 to 23 feet in length. We're going to add a few more bay boat models. We're going to expand into the bass boat territory. We're hoping for 6 models within the first 12 months of business. So we're working hard to expand on this and just continuing to build boats and create jobs.
Faulkner tells us the company is about 70% operational and hopes to be fully up and running within about 3 months.
A candidate for governor hits the campaign trail with a plan for state roads.
And the man he wants to replace weighs in on the race. We have that when we come back.
Republican gubernatorial candidate Bill Waller pitches his infrastructure plan in Monroe County. Waller made a stop at the APAC plant in Hamilton to present a roadmap for his 10-year plan to improve the state's highways and bridges. Waller says even with the new state lottery tax, there still won't be enough funding to fix county roads or bridges throughout the state.
We've got a real crisis in Mississippi, and I'm trying to do everything I can to promote roads. Mississippi is the last state in the southeast not to address the road problems we have. 1987 was our last big highway program. That was 32 years ago. So we've got what was done in the special session with the lottery. It will not even repair the 400 bridges that we've got needing repair and replacement right now. So that's no money to repair roads. That's certainly no money for new coverage or new roads that we need in a variety of places around the state.
Waller also hopes to see the money from the state lottery tax used in the general fund or possibly used in education to help bring more teachers to Mississippi.
The current occupant of the governor's mansion says next week's second round of voting was just what he expected. Governor Phil Bryant says with 3 good candidates, it's hard to avoid a runoff, but when it comes to next Tuesday's election, he feels confident on the outcome.
The Republican Party is going to come together. I know Bill Waller and Justice Waller and Robert Foster are all going to support Tate Reeves in this victory. I think they've run a very good race. I like both of those gentlemen. We differ on some policy. They are in favor of expanding Medicaid. I am not. They're in favor of a gasoline tax. I am not. Neither is Lieutenant Governor Reeves. So there is a clear difference between the candidates in the Republican primary, and I hope everyone will get out again and vote for their respective candidates.
And again, the runoff is next Tuesday, the 27th.
Lots of blue sky across the region this afternoon, but rain chances are going to be on the increase. I'll have those details coming up right after this.
Here's your WCBI First Alert weather forecast.
Not much in the way of rainfall across the area this afternoon. Tupelo hasn't picked up any rain. You can see on the Alpha Insurance camera network, plenty of blue sky still out there, and this is basically the story all across the region. So it's been a nice afternoon, but that lack of rainfall has really allowed us to warm up. We're at 91 in Columbus, 93 up in Tupelo. That looks like the warm spot. 92 in Louisville, 90 in Calhoun City. So still a very warm and muggy afternoon. Once you factor in the humidity at 6 o'clock, we are still feeling like well over 100 degrees, feeling like 100 in Columbus. 102 is what it feels like right now in Louisville. So be careful if you've got to be outside this afternoon. If you're planning on doing any yard work, definitely drink plenty of water. As I mentioned, no rain anywhere on the radar. We do have one small cell that started to pop up in northern portions of Lamar County, but that's about it. Everybody else is pretty dry. That's not the story up to our north, though. Check out this line of storms pushing into northern portions of Tennessee. Nashville getting in on some of that storm activity right now. Also starting to push into northern portions of Arkansas. And of course, on the southern trajectory, it would continue into northern portions of our area. The good news is, by this evening, I think most of this will start to weaken out, and we won't have to deal with the impacts that they're dealing with this system right now. So you can see we'll take this on Futurecast starting out around 7 o'clock, still up there in northern portions of Arkansas. And as it continues to progress southward, a lot of it fizzles out. But by about 10 o'clock or so, not out of the question to see a shower or a thunderstorm up near Tupelo and points north, mainly along and north of I-22. I'm thinking the best chance for any shower activity is. But even as we go into the overnight hours, those two fizzle out, and most of us will be left with a partly cloudy overnight and a partly cloudy start to your Wednesday. You can see that on the overnight planner. Showers basically before midnight. I think after midnight, most everybody's going to be dry. We'll dip down into the low to mid 70s, 72 for our low here in Columbus. And for tomorrow, we're going to warm right back up to the low to mid 90s, 93 for our high. We're going to keep about a 20% chance for some showers in play. Basically the same as we've been seeing for the last couple of days. Anybody could see a quick shower or a thunderstorm, so keep that umbrella handy, and it's going to stay warm and humid for tomorrow. And here's a look at that next weather maker. We've been talking about these increased rain chances for the end of the week. This cold front's bringing plenty of shower and storm activity to southern portions of Kentucky and Missouri. That's going to come closer to our area and actually stall out by Thursday or Friday. So we're going to be left with plenty of shower and thunderstorm chances as we go into the weekend. You can see that on the 7-day forecast, 50% shot for Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Temperatures are going to go down, though, closer to 90, even into the upper 80s by the weekend. But rain chances are going to stay in the forecast through early next week.
The high school football tour winds down. Check stop number 58. Tupelo next in sports.
Your WCBI Sports with Courtney Robb is brought to you by your local Ford dealers. Go further.
The 58th stop on the high school football tour visits with them blankets, the Tupelo Golden Wave. A lot of talent graduated from Tupelo in 2018, but that opens the door for new faces to continue the tradition in the blue and yellow.
WCBI's 60 Schools in 60 Days is brought to you by Sparklight.
One of the winningest eras in Tupelo football comes to a close with the graduation of special talent like J-Rock, Jordan Jernigan, and Stefan McGlon. New opportunities open for new names to step up for the Golden Wave. Head coach Trent Hammond says he has a roster full of guys chomping at the bit to make plays on Friday night.
We've got some kids that have set and kind of waited their turn. If they haven't got a lot of reps in the past because of the guys that were in front of them, and now it's their turn. And I think that's our whole team as a whole is full of guys that have waited their turn, have almost been like a redshirt process, that they've sat here and now it's their turn to go play.
We've been working hard all the way from December, went through boot camp, went through all the summer weightlifting and conditioning. We ready.
Tupelo will turn to Jacob Ware and Ole Miss commit Jacob Horn to lead its high-flying offense in 2019.
Can't go back and try to cookie cutter it. High school football is not like college football where you get to marry yourself to certain schemes or things. We can't ask our quarterback, Jake Ware, to do what Stefan did. We have to ask him to be himself. And so a lot of that's on us to modify and adapt what we're doing to our personnel.
We always will have the talent. It's just because we lost a couple of people, they think that we under the radar now, but we still there.
It's unfamiliar territory for Tupelo this year. The Golden Wave believing they're the ones who are flying under the radar. This group is embracing the underdog role, and the expectations aren't changing.
We knew it coming into this offseason that we weren't going to be thought of to be the best team. That people were going to count us out, so we just got to play hard and do our thing.
We preach max effort every day in practice, and we want to come out here and give real high intensity and show these people what we can do.
I don't think there's anybody out here that sets a bigger expectations on themselves than each one of us. Every one of us want to compete every night, and that's a great thing about Tupelo is our kids have done that same thing.
Tupelo kicks off 2019 inside the flood zone, taking on the South Panola Tigers. With the Golden Wave on the high school football tour, Tom Ebel, WCBI Sports.
60 Schools in 60 Days with Tupelo High School was brought to you by Farmers and Merchants Bank and Zip Scripts Pharmacy.
As we inch closer to the high school football season, that means that we only have 2 stops remaining after today on our 60 in 60 marathon. Starkville is stop number 59 coming up on Wednesday, and then Columbus is stop number 60 on Thursday. Make sure that you're preparing for Friday by watching any of those stops that you may have missed on our website at WCBI.com. Also, if you're looking to get ready for Friday, make sure to stick around after WCBI News at 6 comes to an end. Coming up at 6:30, our End Zone preview shows. Here's the schedule for the upcoming week so that you can tune in and watch all of those. 1 and 2A is going to be today, right after the news ends. Tomorrow we'll have 3A as well as 4A, so that's Wednesday at 6:30. Thursday we'll have 5A and 6A. You can catch each one of those every day at 6:30, so make sure you're doing that to get ready for the upcoming season. That's it for sports. We'll have more after the break. Stay with us.
Lots of chances for showers and storms over the next 7 days. I think tomorrow's our best shot to see some sun, and then Thursday, Friday, Saturday, we really ramp them up. Temperature's going to go down, though, into the upper 80s. Still hot and humid, though.
Could be kind of a wet weekend, but
definitely
that's okay.
Yeah.
I'm trying to plan a birthday party. I need some help here, Trevor.
I have a phone number I can call, so maybe I can get in touch
get
with
on
them
that.
later.
Call your people. Tell them to call my people. All right, that is the news at 6. Your End Zone preview show next in 10 seconds.